Hi, I'm making this video specifically for Rensselaer City Schools 5th grade, where we're extending the partial products method to accommodate for problems where we need to go beyond the decimal place. Tonight we're looking at the example of 4 going into, or 4 being the divisor, into 3,503. Now, in previous videos we've talked about situations where kids aren't as comfortable with their facts, so we focus on like knowing that 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 10 is 40, 4 times 100 is 400, and then 4 times 1,000, there we go, would be 4,000, which in this case would be too much, so we disregard that. Clearly 400, however, isn't enough to do what we need to do, so we might want to consider our 4 times 2 and that series of facts, which gives us 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 20 is 80, 4 times 200 is 800. 800 is certainly closer, but still not quite what we want. And certainly we know we don't need 2,000 because 1,000 was too much, 1,000 groups of 4. So we're going to try 4 times 5, which most kids will know right away is 20. That's one of the easier ones. So we would have 4 times 50 would be 200, and then 4 times 500 would equal 2,000. So that's obviously going to be our key. So we know that we can take 2,000 out of the 3,503 that we're working with. So we come back up here and we subtract 2,000. What we have to keep in mind that that's 500 groups of 4. So we put 500 up here. All right, that's going to leave us with 1,503. Now 2,000 is too many, so we're going to back up and use 800. If your student can see that we can go higher than that, that's great, but for right now we're going to work with these 3 sets of facts. We're going to subtract 800 here, keeping in mind how many groups of 4 is that? It's 200 groups of 4, okay? So when we subtract this out, we're going to get, because 16 minus 8 would be 8, 15 minus 8 is 7, so we have 703. 800 is now too many, so we're going to subtract out 400, and we know that 400 is 100 groups of 4, so we're keeping track. That's going to give us 303. So now we're done. We can't use 800 anymore, it's too much. We can't use 400 anymore. But wait a minute, look what we see here. We know that we can take out 200, and that 200 is 50 groups of 4. Right here, we have it right there. We don't need that anymore. Now we won't need this, because now we have 103, so 200 is too many. So let's take out 80. That would be 20 groups of 4. So that gives us 23 left. Okay, that seems to be pretty close to, oh look at that, 20. So we're going to subtract out 20, which we know to be 5 groups of 4, which leaves us with 3. Now we have said that 3 is a remainder, but now we're big 5th graders, so we know there's more going on. We know that if we put a decimal here, we can put a 0 in the 10ths place, okay? And we know that that doesn't change any of the values that we've worked with so far. It does, however, give us this to work with. So now we're really going to be thinking about 30, but wait a minute, because we added another place, this is the key that the teachers have been working with your kids on. You're basically now not basing it on the ones place anymore, but now we're going to consider the tenths. So notice we don't change the value of any of the numbers so far, okay? But now we're kind of keeping track with ourselves and we're lining up with the last number here. So now we're thinking about, if I'm thinking about 30, even though it's 30 tenths, right? I'm still thinking about 30. How many groups of 4 can I get out of that? I can still go over here and get 20 groups out. I can subtract 20 groups, keeping in mind that it's 20 tenths, okay? So it's actually 5 tenths that we're looking at. We get 10 tenths left over. Look at that. I can go for 8. I can subtract out 8, but remember I'm in the tenths. So I have 2 groups of 4, but it's 2 tenths. Leaves me with 2 left over. Oh, wait a minute. What can I do with that? I need another 0. Now I'm in the hundredths. Again, it doesn't change any of these values before it. All right? But now I'm looking at 20. But it's 20 what? It's not 20 tenths. It's 2 tenths, but it's 20 hundredths. Again, I look over here, 20. I know I can take 20 out, but how many groups have I subtracted out? And I'm going to shove this up just a little bit so you can see that, okay? I know that that is 5, but it's 5 what? 5 hundredths. Okay, so at this point now I have nothing left, so that's very fortunate. I can add all of these up because these are all the groups of 4 that I subtracted out. 5 in the hundredths place, 7 in the tenths place. Then I look up here, I only have 5 in the ones place. If I look at the tens place, I have 7. If I look at the hundreds place, I'm going to have 8. So in the end, and I apologize for having to slide this, in the end, I have 875 and 75 hundredths. Thank you.